This is Lindsay. That's me. Probably gonna edit that out, so let's just start over. Dirty, before somebody says something, or not dirty, but messy. Man, I live in this room, so if your craft room or your craft area is clean, thumbs up to you, girl, but mine sure isn't. I clean it up like once a month, maybe, but as soon as I clean it, I'm out here looking for stuff, and next thing I know, looks like a craft bomb went off. So, just being real with you, I realize that somebody's going to say something about all of this. I realize this is a mess, but I'm honest, and I make it work. So, thanks. Alright. Hi guys, it's Lindsay with Unique Baby Boutique. Today I'm going to answer some of your questions from the videos over the last however many years. I apologize for not keeping up with them, but I'm sure you guys understand work, life gets in the way. I wrote down some questions, and then also I'm just going to go over some of the everyday products that I personally use. I've been embroidering for, I think I talk about this in my other videos, but I'm just going to talk about it again. I've been embroidering since my daughter was almost born, basically. I got an embroidered onesie from, actually, my nurse at my OBGYN. She's amazing. And it had an S on it, and then it had her name embroidered over the S. The S was appliqued. So I was like, damn, this is really cool. I'm going to see if I can figure this out myself. So I bought, my first machine was an SE400, a Brother SE400, and honestly, I was scared shitless of it. Like, I think it honestly sat in my closet for like 6 months. I was so scared. Now, I have a 6 needle and a Brother Quattro too. So, once you like put your mind to it, you can definitely do it. I know it's a little bit overwhelming, especially with all the different materials and fabrics and thread, bobbins, scissors, all of that. But hopefully today I'll put your mind at ease and give you some more information that will help you through your journey. Alright, so I'm going to start off with some stabilizers that I use almost every time I embroider. This is Pelon 806 Stitch and Tear. I actually buy this by the bolt. I buy it like 5 or 6 bolts at a time, only because I go through it so much. I have an Etsy shop, and during Halloween I am super busy, so I go through this so much. It's easier for me to buy it like this, because then I can use it on my 8x12 hoop, which I use mostly for the masks that I make, or I can cut it down and use it in my 5x7. I also save scraps, so I will find those and I will share those. I save scraps for my 4x4 hoop if I'm only making like 4 Felties. I would just recommend not like going crazy with it, like not like a tiny piece of stabilizer, but definitely like a large piece that can fit into a hoop. I definitely save those. Next thing I use is Sulky Sticky. I have bought it by the bolt before, but this is a little bit more affordable for me because I can go to Joann Fabrics and I can purchase it and use a coupon. I buy this size, and I also buy the smaller size. This is the size that I use for my larger shirts. And then I have the smaller size that I use for like my 5x7 hoop. This is, I know it's really hard for you guys to see because it's kind of far away, but this is Heat and Bond Lite. When you are doing machine applique, this is very, very, very important. It keeps your fabric from shredding or pulling away from the tack down stitch, or even the satin stitch, depending on how the design is digitized. Sometimes they don't do a running stitch underneath the satin stitch, so, or a wide zigzag, and that will really depending on the type of fabric that you're using, that will really make the fabric separate from the actual satin stitch. Another thing that I use every time I embroider, whether I'm making felties, shirts, appliques, coasters, you name it, okay, I use these scissors. They are Kai 4-inch curved. Most of this stuff I do buy online, like Amazon. Like some stuff I do get locally, like this I buy by the yard generally, or sometimes I buy it by the roll if it's cheaper. These scissors I do buy on Amazon. I will post a link to everything that I purchased down below so you guys can see. You can purchase this from Joann Fabrics, but it's actually more expensive if you purchase it from Walmart. It's like, or it was $1.13 a yard. I don't know how much it is now, but this is the best tearaway fabric. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's a mid-weight tearaway. It is perfect. All right, so I'm gonna just dive into the questions that I wrote down here. Again, I apologize for not responding to everyone. Some of the comments are like 3 years old, and that's terrible. And I fully accept responsibility for not responding. Okay? Okay. So, what kind of felt do I use when I'm making felties? I actually buy it by the yard from Joann Fabrics, and then I cut it down to 9x12 sheets. Like you would buy pre-made sheets, say at like Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby, depending on what your craft store is to you locally. And I can show you guys how to do that as well. All my felt sheets are the exact same size when I cut them, and then it makes it even easier when you're doing something in a 5x7 hoop, because you can just fold it in half and then just slice it down the middle, and you don't have to worry about it not fitting. So I buy my felt from Joann Fabrics. Generally, I purchase it when it's on sale. Like I think it's like $3.99 a yard, and I buy a lot of it. What are felties used for? That was another question. Okay, so felties can be used for a wide arrangement of things. I personally use them for bow centers, badge reels. You can also put magnets on them and put them on the fridge. I think I have some of those in my Etsy shop. Planner clips, those are really hot right now. I know a lot of people have been into like the bullet planning and stuff like that. I have used those as well. I generally cut a bunch out and just keep them. I have like a large bin, so you can put them on a singular clip as well. So these are just some examples of some felties that I've made. I probably have thousands of patterns. I have not stitched them all out. One day I should probably do that, but it's just not logical because I have too many. But I have a lot of patterns, and yes. Okay. So another question about felties is how to stitch out an entire sheet. So now digitizers are selling the designs. They used to be, when I first started, they were like singular. So you would either have to stitch out one, then move it over in your hoop and stitch out another one, then move it over in your hoop and stitch out another one. Then someone figured out in Sew What Pro that you can color sort the felties and stitch them all out together. So an example of that would be like, find an easy feltie. Okay, so for this bunny, I don't even know if you can see this, but for the bunny, it would stitch out the outline stitch, which is the outline of the bunny. And it would do 12 of them. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then afterwards, it would do the tack down, or the placement stitch for the bunny butt. And then you would put your fabric. I chose to do glitter heat transfer vinyl. And I'll go over that as well. But, and then it would, do the consecutive 12. And then the final stitch would be the back, which is a piece of felt that you put on the back. And that is how you do it. I actually did make a video on how to color sort felties on it's on my channel. Super easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's just like repetitive. You can do it. I have faith in you. Another question I had was, for a starter machine, what do you suggest? An SE400, I think they changed the name of it. I think it's like an SE600. Or maybe that's the dealer model, or a PE770. So right now it's hard to buy a lot of machines online because of COVID. So like when people were in quarantine, they like purchased up all the machines to make masks and like have a hobby at home. But when they start to be getting made again, I personally would recommend getting a 5x7. A 5x7 hoop, you're not starting at the bottom of the barrel. There's nothing wrong with that, but once you start embroidering, you're gonna want a larger hoop. There's so many more things that you can do with it. I recommend the PE770. I think that is a great starter machine. If you can afford a hobby machine from a dealer, some of those machines are just a little bit more quality. Like you have the option of getting, like my machine cuts my jump stitches. If you're new to embroidery, you understand that cutting jump stitches are a bitch. Like, sorry for the cursing. If you are offended, I'm not the person to watch. I got a terrible mouth and I apologize. I apologize-ish. Cutting your jump stitches are annoying. It's super annoying. I mean, you get used to it, and if that's what you have to work with, then it's great. I was there, I understand, but now I'm spoiled. My Quattro, it cuts all my jump stitches for me, and there's nothing like that. It's like I said, I'm spoiled. I would say, like I said, the 5x7, but if you can only afford the 4x4, girl, you can make it work. Or boy, I don't know. Whoever you are, you can do it. Creating a file with multiple Felties. Okay, so I did talk about that already. I do have a video where I do talk about the multiple Felties that I have. It's, like I said, it's really easy. You just color sort. I can make an updated one if anyone is interested in. Just let me know. And I am going to be watching my comments now. I set up notifications, so now I can't miss anything. What program do I use? I use So What Pro. It's very user-friendly. I actually just bought Hatch for Digitizing by Wilcom, and I am learning that. If you use Hatch, you want to give me some tips, I'm fully into it. So What Pro is very easy to use. The only thing is you can't really digitize. You can do a little bit like of borders and like removing stitches. But as for like manipulation, like adding more than one Feltie to a sheet, or adding a name, or merging a letter and an applique, or a number and an applique, you can do that. Brand of thread that I use. Okay, so let's talk about thread a little bit. There are many different types of thread. There's Coates & Clark, there's Sulky, there is, oh boy, Robinson and Anton, there is Floriani, there's Isacord. Actually, I think Robinson and Anton might have been Floriani before. So there's Floriani, there's Isacord, Metler, let me look at my threads. So there's so many, like there's so many. I would recommend using a polyester thread or an Isacord. The polyester gives a really, really, really nice sheen. If you like a more dull look, I would definitely recommend like an Isacord, like not so shiny. I just buy thread based off of the color. There's a company that I've been using on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll put it in the description. I buy big spools because I have a thread stand on my Brother Quattro, and also I have a 6 needle. So it's easier for me just to buy the larger spools, especially in the colors that I use a lot. Like on my 6 needle right now, I have black, white, red. Other colors that I have are yellow, gold, turquoise, Kelly green, dark green, light green, brown. I mean, to be honest, I stopped buying the smaller spools, and I only buy the big spools now. I don't necessarily have storage for that, but it saves you money in the long run. Floriani is a great, 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 great thread. It's probably my favorite. It stitches out so nice. It's just beautiful. Isacord, I also love Isacord. I think it's a great thread. Somebody gave me some Sulky threads. I do like them. They are, in my opinion, I think they shred a little bit, at least in my machine, but I do use them. Excuse me, sorry, talking too much. As for bobbins, let's move on to that. So, you can do one of two things. You can wind your own bobbin, or you can buy pre-wound bobbins. I use pre-wound bobbins in both my machines, in my 6 needle as well as in my single needle Quattro. I think for convenience wise, it is way easier. I do have a large spool of bobbin thread that I do sometimes wind bobbins. I'm a little weird. I think winding bobbins is relaxing, but as for convenience, it's not the same. There's nothing wrong with winding your own bobbins and using your own bobbins. Most machine repair people don't like pre-wound bobbins. They say they give the machine problems. I personally use them. I just think that it's a way easier and more convenient way to like continue, especially if you're in the middle of a project. If you're starting fresh and you know that you have like 6 bobbins wound, that's good, but depending on how many stitches you're using, or there's just so many things. I know I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to answer the questions. As for the type of bobbin thread, you need to read your manual. If you have not read your manual, you need to read your manual. Read it. It is your Bible when it comes to machine embroidery. You may think you know something until you read it, then you're like, oh damn, I really don't know that. Definitely read your manual. It'll tell you if you need 60 weight or 90 weight. Most of the combination machines, so like the smaller machines, like the SE400 or the SE600, uses a different bobbin thread weight than the larger machines like what I have. So I would definitely make sure that you read your manual. Okay. Well, then needles. All right, so I personally use, wow. I don't know why I'm so, got a frog in my throat. I personally use organ needles. I really only use 7511 sharps. I rarely use an 80. I think it's too big. 7511, I've never had a problem with it. I also buy these in bulk. I will post the link. Let's see, what else? Here's some examples of what Felties look like when they're not cut out. Yeah, so thank you for watching my video. I know this one wasn't like crazy long. I hope I answered some of your questions. I know I'm all over the place. I got a little bit of ADD going on, especially when I'm talking about crafts and things that I love. I love machine embroidery. I think it's a great way to express yourself. You can use different colors, different techniques. You can hoop, you can float, you can, oh my gosh, there's just so many things you can do. So if you guys have any more questions for me, please let me know. I love you all. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking my video. Again, I apologize from the bottom of my heart that I have not been keeping up with the comments, but I promise you, moving forward, I will be doing that.